In today's world, and these screens will go pretty rapidly, it's gone beyond just pricing strategies and providing experiences in a hotel when they come and check in at your properties. It's a lot about the art and science of spending your money wisely on search engine marketing and optimization, a lot around TripAdvisor, a lot about traveler reviews and the kind of experiences you're giving them when they check in, right? Localized content. It's become extremely important and remarkable. And on our side, and this is no rocket science, word of mouth certainly makes a lot of difference. On our side, on a 5-point review rating score, hotels who have a terrific review rating have got twice the probability of getting booked as opposed to a hotel that is average. These are some Expedia numbers out here. Pretty remarkable. And the ones who get poor ratings, well, you certainly are turning off customers. Very quickly, I wanted to talk about something called the billboard effect, because from a distribution standpoint, it is important that this audience understands that. You have a lot of customers who come to our site because they know the destination they want to go to, they just don't know where to stay. They do not know enough about the destination. So they use sites like ours and other online travel companies as sites to research. And then you have a lot of customers who actually go to the hotel direct and book directly with the hotel because the hotel gives a few more value adds and all of that, which is perfect. Doesn't make it's encouraged rather. So for every direct booking that is made on Expedia for the hotel also gets incremental business. And actually, we had Cornell University who conducted an independent research. What they did was they took a large set of hotels. Some hotels were branded, and some hotels were independent. These hotels, for a fixed period of time, were showcased on Expedia, and the university compared how many bookings that the hotel got through our own site by virtue of being on Expedia. And then for the same amount of period, the hotels were removed from Expedia. They were not shown on Expedia at all, to see what kind of impact it had on the hotel for their direct bookings. The two branded hotels, one of them saw 9% more bookings come through their own channel by virtue of being on Expedia, and the other one was 14%. For the independent hotel, they saw an increase of 26%. When they show the blue is when they were on Expedia, and the gray is when they were not on Expedia. So this is kind of called a billboard effect. How many more direct bookings do you get on your site by virtue of being on online travel company websites? This is specific to Expedia itself, because Cornell conducted a research and they were only focused on Expedia. So called the billboard effect, thought this would be interesting. And in tomorrow's world, a lot of it is around what the professor mentioned, Facebook, TripAdvisor, what people have to indeed showcase. And I think our pricing strategies is going to become a lot more surgical. You have a lot of sites out there, Groupon, Travelzoo, you have Sneakaway, you have a lot of these sites, Facebook. How do you maximize and optimize from these sites so that you're able to speak to your customers in a very surgical manner? So data mining is certainly going to be extremely important. And then mobile. I mean, if you take a look at the Expedia side, it is 5 times more business is what we're seeing now coming through our mobile devices, which is staggering. And it's already, the Expedia Trip Assist application that we have is already one of the top 5 downloaded in the travel space. And with that, last year we made an acquisition of a pretty key company in the mobile space called Mobiata, which we feel pretty good about. So a lot of it is around the mobile space. We certainly want to get ahead of the curve. A lot of companies dabbling around this. And we certainly live in interesting times. And I look forward to a wonderful chat. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you, Hari. I'd like to take 2 questions for Hari before we're going to our next speaker. And that will, because probably you'll have some burning questions. Who would like to ask any questions? While you're thinking, I'm going to sneak a 3rd question in there. Hari, obviously, if we had someone else from Orbit, if you had someone else from Opodo, they'll do a very, very similar presentation. What's unique about Expedia? What is the essence of Expedia, and how technology is going to reinforce that in the future? So basically, what's your unique selling point? What's the uniqueness of Expedia? And what is the new technology that you're bringing there to take that forward?
Sure. I think from a unique standpoint, I think one of the things that we are pretty obsessed about is about being not just a travel brand, but you want to be a global travel brand. And if you step back and think about it, there are not too many global travel brands that you can think of. American Express certainly comes across as a global travel brand, but they are specifically in the corporate side of the business. Whereas for Expedia, when we think about a global travel brand, we've not just had it across and expanded our global footprint, but we are actually doing it, not just one, but 3 global travel brands in ExpediaHotels.com and in Hotwire, in being able to speak to the entire distribution curve.
So you don't include TripAdvisor in there?
What is that?
You don't include TripAdvisor because
it certainly is, but it's more about a media. It's not a transaction brand. You don't look at TripAdvisor as a transaction brand, although it certainly is a crown jewel in our Expedia Inc. family. So great to have you here. And from a technology standpoint, I think we are looking at it 2 ways. One is you need to take a look at it from a consumer standpoint, and we're spending a lot of time and money and effort trying to figure out as to how can we make an experience seamless for them, frictionless. What we don't speak enough about, which is important for us, is we're spending a lot of time thinking about how do we make it easy for our suppliers. I think there are a few things that we actually do well for our suppliers, but there's a lot of things we actually don't do well. We don't make it easy for our distribution partners to work with us, and that's essentially where we are trying to spend a lot of time.
I'm sure some of the suppliers will be talking about that, and I guess that Chris later on, when he talks about airlines and OTAs, he will be mentioning some of these things because the developments. Questions? Anybody? Is it too early for you? Hello, Alex. Can you bring the microphone down, please? That's the, yeah, we'll do a little bit of exercise today, going up and down. Alex, would you like to say who you are and where you're from and something personal about you?
Okay, Alex Bainbridge from Tour CMS and T-News, and I'm speaking this afternoon as well. The billboard effect, is that a failure of Expedia? If someone comes to the Expedia website, finds a hotel and then goes to the hotel's own website, surely that is something that Expedia should be looking at fixing, and in terms of keeping the customer booking via Expedia rather than going via the hotel. So is that a bad thing from an Expedia perspective?
Not necessarily, because I think we're looking at large numbers, and you're going to find people who are going to our site who have different aspirations. They actually want to try and get content directly from the hotel. They're using us only for research purposes. So no, we don't look at it as a bad thing. That's one. Second is people who come to our website are brand agnostic, right? If you want to stay at a Marriott hotel or you want to book only a Continental Airlines ticket, those are the websites you're going to go to. Those are not our customers. Our customers are brand agnostic, don't know where they want to stay, just want some ideas, and hey, you know what, we found something good in Expedia, they'll end up buying. So when you look at large aggregate numbers, surely we would like to be able to keep them on our site, but it is okay in our worlds if they go directly to the hotel and the hotel can do everything that they can to please the customer, that's fine. I do think that when the customers do get relevant access to information data, next time around, they're likely to come back to Expedia. And I think one of the things we think hard about is how can we showcase multiple components to the customer in a way that they can buy just one product. So it doesn't matter.
And don't forget the Intercontinental deal, that basically Expedia is supporting Intercontinental not as an agent, but as a pay-per-click reference point. Sure. Yeah? So I guess Expedia as a reference point will have a second business model as a reference point, and I think they do it already with Intercontinental, which is interesting. Ms. Manouche would like to say would you like to say who you are and what you do? Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Margarita Manouche. I represent the leading trade magazine for the tourism industry as a journalist. Turistikia is the name of the magazine. And I would like to ask, well, we all know that Expedia helps a lot the increase of arrivals everywhere Expedia exists and blah, blah. The question is, what about the income? I'm sorry if you have said all that before I got here, but due to the traffic jam, I mean, it took me a lot more than what it was. No problem. What about the income on the destinations that Expedia is big? Do we have any data on that? I mean, how has it changed? How has it been affected? Because the main thing about tourism and its support to the countries where it grows is the income of that destination, the receipts, whatever's left after the people are gone. I mean, it's not just the arrivals.
Margarita, let me understand the question, and let's keep it short. What you're asking is what income Expedia generates for each destination.
Exactly.
Okay.
The difference before
the growth of income that Expedia generates. Basically, how much money does Expedia brings to a place like Rhodes or Kos, yeah?
Right. Well, I'm trying to understand the question, but you know, I'll try and Margarita, right? The fundamentals of our business, it's a pay-for-performance model, in the sense that Expedia only makes money if we deliver. If we don't deliver, we don't make any money, right? And at the same time, we need to be able to deliver it to the hotels. The way we work with destinations is in several ways. One is we are able to closely tie and align with destinations where destinations want to be able to spend dollars on Expedia so that you can have huge banners, come visit Greece, come visit Tunisia, well, bad example in today's world, but come visit, well, I thought of Egypt, but that's a bad example too in today's world. So, but you get the point, right? You have a lot of companies and destinations and tourism bodies that work very closely with us, where they are able to spend marketing dollars, and we could have a revenue sharing relationship, if you will, right? So that we are able to get those incremental customers to the destination. In other cases, it is the destinations that actually work with the hotels and are able to galvanize and optimize so that we are able to have a specific deal for a destination, so that when you have a customer who comes to our site, don't know where they want to go, we are able to showcase Greece as such. So in terms of, I'm not exactly sure about what you mean by what is remaining, because we try and burn through you know, the dollars that a destination is spending in a manner that actually makes sense and is smart, and we are able to showcase the destination across travelers on casting a really wide net, kind of globally. So, but by virtue of it being a pay-for-performance model, if we don't perform, we just don't make anything.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll have a conversation happening in coffee as well. Thank you, Harry.
Indeed.
Thank you.